welcome back to my channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now, before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. All right, you guys, so happy Saturday, first of all. It is Saturday afternoon. I've been up for a little bit, got some errands that I need to run. I've already done a couple of things. We went to Sam's Club, we went to the lens crafters for my baby so he can get his glasses done. And so we have some other things that we need to do, but while I was out running errands, it dawned on me, I haven't talked to my people. Come on, Mass Trans, like, how you gonna connect with the people and then just leave them hanging like that? What does it say about you? Right? So I dropped everything I was doing, I ran back home. I said, oh no, I gotta come talk to the people. So I'm here to give you guys my take on two news stories that left an impression on me. Now, both of these stories come out of New York. The first story is about the world's dumbest DoorDash Delivery Driver. Try to say that fast 3 times. That is an alliteration, just so you know, okay? So we got the world's dumbest DoorDash Delivery Driver, who apparently is not a fan of the Boys in Blue. He's not a fan of One Time, right? So he got an order for his local precinct, and he did deliver it, so that's the good news. But check out what he did while delivering it, and I'll come back and talk to you guys on the other side because I want you to see it for yourself before I give you guys my opinion. So take a look and I'll see you soon.
Have arrested the delivery driver who they say tampered with an NYPD officer's food. And tonight, investigators hauled him out of the very same precinct where he allegedly delivered that tainted order. News 4's Ida Siegel is in Brooklyn with what that suspect had to say for himself.
Definitely didn't. It was a prank.
30-year-old Lance Lane tonight shouting to reporters as he was led out of the 61st Precinct station house in handcuffs.
It was a prank that went. They don't got nothing.
The former DoorDash delivery man is referring to this note that says, "Hope that blank tastes good." He recorded himself sticking the note inside a Chipotle meal with his bare fingers and then allegedly delivered it to the police officer who ordered it here at the station. The note led the officer to believe her food had been tampered with in other ways.
That's despicable. I mean, forget for a minute that it's a police officer. How about from one human being to another to do that to another person? I mean, what are people thinking?
That's disgusting. I would never want to use DoorDash for that reason. I'd rather go pick up the food myself.
On Facebook, the self-proclaimed delivery man wrote above the video, "This is a Facebook public announcement. I don't violate people's food like that. That was personal. We at war." He has now been charged with criminal tampering and assaulting a police officer.
That is a form of assault, whether it's verbal, emotional, physical.
He should face consequences.
Of course.
As we reported earlier in the week, DoorDash said they fired Lance as soon as they found out what happened. Chipotle also said they made sure that Lance would not deliver for them again. And now he is facing jail time. Reporting from Sheepshead Bay, Ida Siegel, News 4, New York.
An update now to a story we first brought you on Tuesday. Police have arrested the delivery driver who they say tampered with an NYPD officer's food. And tonight, investigators hauled him out of the very same precinct where he allegedly delivered that tainted order. News 4's Ida Siegel is in Brooklyn with what that suspect had to say for himself.
All right, so welcome back. I don't know what to do with it. Help me out, people. Like, what were you thinking? What was on your mind that made you think that you were gonna get away with this? Like, he must have watched what is it? The Secret Life of Bees, or I can't remember what the name of the movie is. The movie that Octavia Spencer won the Oscar for, where she goes and makes that chocolate pie. Like, he must have watched that and got some inspiration from that, right? So here's my thing. And then here he goes talking about it's a prank. Prank where? In my food? No. First of all, did y'all see that rice bowl had guacamole in it? It had guacamole. Do you know how expensive a scoop of guacamole is at Chipotle? You gotta work overtime to pay for guacamole on your rice bowl at Chipotle. You gotta work overtime. They want your credit score. Guacamole is expensive, and you gonna put your nasty finger in my guacamole? Oh, we had a problem. And then the other part, let me tell you the part that really took me out. It wasn't even what Lance did. The part that cracked me up, and this is where the news reporter is so shady, but I live for the shade secretly, is when they read his Facebook post verbatim. I normally don't be playing with people's food like that. Whatever he said, whatever broken English he was speaking. I'm like, you know what? They gave him the perp walk. They made sure to make an example of him. That was the purpose of that perp walk. And then that broken English post. If you cannot, listen. If you can't spell, don't text. Okay? There's nothing worse than trying to, treat something like the Da Vinci Code to decipher it when people try to text you and they can't text. Did you hear what he wrote? I normally don't be playing with people's food like that. Go back to school, Lance. Go back to school. Keep your hands out of people's food and go back to school. The whole point, I thought, of committing a crime was to be able to get away with it. Calling me crazy. Calling me cuckoo. But if I commit a crime, the very first thing I'm going to think about is, how am I going to get away with this? And part of thinking about how you're going to get away with it is thinking about the ways it can be traced back to you. He may as well have just gone in there and just thrown his ID on the table. He may as well just went in there and just wiped himself and threw the tissue on the counter. Like, what about the way that you conducted yourself made you think that they were not going to connect this back to you? A, the app is registered to you, so therefore the delivery is associated to you. So when you're signing up for the app, they're asking you for your identification card, your home phone number, your address. They know it's you. They know it's you, and you're gonna write a note as if that somehow drew a line between the person delivering it and your identity. Did you think this through? What were you smoking? And I don't even smoke, but I might try smoking if it gets me that high, because you have to be hella high to go to a police station, and then not even a police officer. He said, you know what? Who has time for police officers? I'm going to the detectives. I'm going to take this up to level 10 because I don't have time to be dealing with these Keystone cops. So he wrote this note, dug his nasty, grubby little fingers all up in this woman's bowl. Dug his nasty fingers all up in her bowl, and then gonna present it to her and walk away and think that nothing was gonna happen. You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. They caught him. Surprise. Didn't see that coming. Did not expect that. Not because you left your calling card essentially at the scene of the crime. It was just so dumb. And secondly, beyond it being dumb, it's nasty. It's nasty. Let me tell you guys something really quick. When I go out to eat and I'm dealing with a waiter, waitress, whomever might be potentially in contact with food that's being served to me, when I tell you I have the biggest halo, the biggest halo around me, I'm naturally a very gracious person to begin with. But when I'm dealing with people in the service industry, listen, I have no problem being taken to the nth degree to let them know how appreciative I am of their service and their kindness and their time, because please don't do anything to my food. Please don't. But if you are caught doing something to someone's food, for me, that should be a felony. And we're living in a day and age of COVID-19 and tuberculosis and all sorts of, transmittable diseases. And you want to stick your nasty little fingers up in my food. In some countries, they might cut your hands off for doing something like that. And then here's my other question. Now, I'm not sure how long DoorDash has been around, but it's at the very least been a minimum of about maybe 3 to 5 years, right? Why are there no tamper-proof containers at this point? See, I don't even order DoorDash because I'm a little bit of a germaphobe. I barely want the people at the restaurant touching my food, let alone having an intermediary deliver the food to me. I'm not quite sure what has been going on with my food by the time it's reached me. And the one thing I know for sure is that there are some nasty people out there, right? And this is proof positive that there's some nasty people out there. So I'm just wondering, what is it going to take for DoorDash or for these restaurants who utilize DoorDash to partner and to create a tamper-proof delivery service? I don't need nobody eating up out of my McDonald's fries. I paid for those. Now, I gave you a tip. If you want some fries, go buy you some. Why are you eating up out of mine? But you stuck your finger in this woman's food and then acted as if you were surprised that you got caught. You deserve to be caught because you're a dummy. And dummies do not belong on the street because you're bound to do something even dumber than what you've already done. So having said that, let's move on to our last and final story. And again, this story is coming out of New York. Now, this story is really not funny to me. This is a story about child abduction. It is a mother and her children, and they're walking along, minding their business, and along comes some crazy child predator. I don't know what the impetus was for this attempted abduction, but check out what happens, and then we'll talk on the other side.
Abduction in Queens, a little boy snatched off the sidewalk and thrown into a car. Tonight, the mother speaking out about the moment she pulled her 5-year-old son to safety in a sort of tug of war through the car's window. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett is live in Richmond Hill. NJ?
Right, Sade, she says she acted entirely on instinct and did what any mother would do. No, she has no idea who these guys are or why they would want to kidnap her 5-year-old son. But they very nearly pulled it off.
I say, oh my God, my kids. Oh my God, my boys.
Dolores Diaz Lopez told us she grabbed her son and wouldn't let go. She was walking with her 3 children on Hillside Avenue at 8 o'clock last night. The entire episode captured on surveillance video. As they're walking, a man bursts out of a car and runs to the sidewalk. He grabs Dolores' youngest son, Jacob, carries him away, and literally tosses the boy into the back seat. Dolores and her other 2 children struggle through an open window, desperately trying to pull him out. And within seconds, the boy breaks free and is back in his mother's arms. As the car takes off, eyewitnesses are powerless to stop it. A mother's instincts make me fight and act in a different way, she told us. You have to do what's necessary no matter what. The car was just parked there, she said. I would never have imagined that a man would get out of the car and grab my son. Jacob is 5 years old and was playing video games on his phone this afternoon. But Dolores says all 3 of her children are traumatized and refuse to leave the house. Mothers have to be careful with their children, she said. Always hold their hand when walking with them, because there are a lot of evil people, and you never know who is near. Investigators believe the man in the white shirt is the driver, seen in this video before the kidnapping attempt, walking with another man, described as an accomplice. The motive remained a mystery late this afternoon. Dolores says she's never seen either man before and has no idea why anyone would want to kidnap Jacob.
Why? Why did they do that?
I don't know. I didn't see the face, never. I don't know what happened. The people not talking nothing, only take my kids and put in the car.
Well, the entire kidnapping attempt took exactly 14 seconds. This may well be job 1 tonight for Queens detectives. And of course, anybody with information that could help them track these men down is urged tonight to call the NYPD. And there is a sense of urgency about this case.
All right, so welcome back. What is wrong with these people? What is happening in the world? Like, this was, I don't know what's happening in New York, period. I don't know what's happening in the world, period. But criminals said they don't even have time to wait for children to be alone anymore. We're snatching them while they're still in your presence. And that's a very, very scary prospect. I can't imagine the amount of fear and adrenaline that was pumping through that woman the moment that happened. To just be standing there and watch someone run around and just grab your baby and take him to the car and almost got away with that. But mama was not having it. Mama was not having it. And this is why parents, some of you, you might want to think about getting yourself a little pow-pow. Because he definitely deserved, because if they don't catch him, if he is that bold enough to do that with that baby, oh, he's determined to get him a child. He is determined to get a child. This is broad daylight in New York. New York is one of the most densely populated states in the country. And you got out of your car in broad daylight in New York, didn't give a damn about surveillance, didn't give a damn about pedestrians, citizens being on the street, didn't give a damn about the mom being there. You were laser focused on getting that baby. That is a dangerous person. That is an extremely dangerous person. And they need to be pulling out all of the stops to find him, because you have to think, if he's this bold to try to get this baby, he might have other ones, right? You don't just, this is not a starting point. This is not where you start off as a child abductor. You don't just wake up one day and say, I think I'm going to steal a baby in broad daylight. Like, for you to get to the point that you're doing that is an act of desperation. Like, you've tried it before, and you've been successful before, or I don't know what would lead a person to be that brazen, but I'm telling you, they need to find out who he is. And if there are other missing children in that area, they definitely need to start taking a closer look at this person, because that was on another level. And I blame Joe Biden. I blame Joe. This is Joe's fault. Joe is out here passing out all these tax credits to people and, you know, giving people extra money, extra stimulus money for having children. You know, these. Let me stop, because it's not funny. But I'm just saying, you know, a couple extra kids wouldn't hurt. A couple extra kids wouldn't hurt. But anyway, you guys, make sure you do me a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, in closing, remember to ask yourself the question of why be bitter when you can be better? So let's be better together. I'm the Master Trans, and I'll talk to you guys again in my next video. Mwah.